Yeah, I know bear attacks are at an all-time high in Japan. They need me. They need me more than ever, honestly. Look at this, dude. They need me. They need me more than ever, dude. Bear attacks are at an all-time high in Japan this year. NTV created the visual representation for the 164 bear attacks that took place between January and October 2023, resulting in 175 injuries and 5 deaths. It's so funny that this is some Metal Gear ass music, by the way. Like, they're playing MGS soundtrack. Damn, shit got way gnarlier in this time frame. What the hell? What is happening? Damn, bear attacks are popping this year. This man is living your best life.
The bears are gonna go to sleep here for a couple months, so let's make one of our last snacks together a good one. Guys,
oh my god, are you serious? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's bullshit. I need one, dude. I need one bad. I need one bad. I need two. Not even one. I need two. Yeah, Japanese bears are pissed, and I think I know why. Okay, I think we should vibe check Japan. Like, bears just don't attack people randomly like that. You know what I mean? There's probably a reason for why the bears are attacking the people. Have we figured out what the people have done wrong? You know what I mean? That's my first question in this situation. Israeli Defense Forces 1 minute ago. Proof. Behind the blast door, Hamas terrorist base under the hospital. They found more tunnel networks literally as we were, as I was going live, as in their deconstruction operation. Will you let tell Maya you will Vome live to Alves if they get bears? Why does it look like a Mr. Beast thumbnail? I know. You see the video of a bear eating a Mexican family's food? No, but they deserve to have it. This is pretty crazy what's going on here. They're coming after Rashida Tlaib pretty aggressively. We'll talk about that too. Watch the Willie Max thing today. In my opinion, you should point out more often that the Ukraine take was almost 2 years ago now, and it's pretty dumb that the only other instance that you have where it's wrong is that far away. Shit was pointless as fuck though. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't matter. Because it's not being pushed by people who legitimately care. It's being pushed by people who just want to be like, you fucking suck, you're bad, and you're wrong. Who cares though? It doesn't matter. When are we getting phased up with FaZe Finkel? Dude, he's such a boomer. FaZe Finkelstein is such a boomer. We're working on it. Possibly Friday. I will have a guest today, though. I'm going to have Mike Isaac on from New York Times. New York Times tech reporter Mike Isaac is going to be on and talk about OpenAI and Sam Altman. Maybe some other stuff, too. And we'll see. FaZe Finkelstein is so funny because it's the truth, man. It's true. He is phasing the fuck up. He's phasing the fuck up, and he's never phasing down, and I respect that about him. Something you should know about Norm Finkelstein is that he phases the fuck up. Is Jank on tomorrow? Yes. The uncle-nephew showdown will be back tomorrow. Okay? Uncle Chunk Yogurt will be here, this time running for president. So just remember that. Okay? Anyway, let's blast off. Oh, IDF finds even more tunnels under Al-Shifa. I can't wait for someone to say that at a debate. FaZe Finkel or Uncle Jank. Favorite Thanksgiving dish? Easy. Wait, what is it? The one that's made with bread, leftover bread? Stuffing. That's my shit. I love stuffing. Chunk yogurt is my favorite. Buffalo car bomb at the Canada border. Yeah, I know, but that's breaking shit, okay? And we don't know all the details. I'll take a look at what is confirmed so far. Dressing or stuffing easy? What is dressing? I think turkey is mid. I've talked about this before. I think turkey is very mid in general. It's not my favorite. I think chicken is supreme, but ultimately it don't matter.
High school science.
Yeah, the Rainbow Bridge between the United States and the Canadian border, had a car bomb happen earlier. We're going to be looking at that. Let me just fucking write this blast off for Twitter first, though. Dressing versus stuffing is a Southern thing? Oh, okay. Sweet potato casserole is the holy grail. Thoughts on a rack of lamb for Thanksgiving instead? Yay or nay? Yes. Yes. Lamb is always good. It's always really, really good. Okay. Hostage swap underway. Really prisoner conditions. Israel prisoner conditions. U.S. interests in ceasefire. And more later, Mike Isaac will be on to discuss Sam Altman and open AI drama. Get in now. Okay, there it is. Where's that shirt from? It was a limited edition. Oh, there's a new Elon Musk report too. There's a lot of fucking news, man. It's a news heavy day, but like variety news. Don't worry. Dressing is the same as stuffing. Everyone's saying they're different as coping. I don't know. I didn't even know that there was a thing called stuffing. I wasn't even aware of that. Anyway, we're blasting off. I didn't mention the Rainbow Bridge because this beat feels like BBC News. The beat. I mean, yes, I do cover a lot of the news that you see in other places. I do not have my own news team with journalists on the ground. I have to cover what other people are covering, read it in real time, analyze it in real time, and then let you know what my opinion is on the matter. Biden has some terrible things to say in the latest political article. I know, we're going to be looking at that as well. What is this? Damn, Turkish people are getting in on the smoke. Hamas confirms the killing of 4 members in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon yesterday. 2 of the members are Lebanese, and the 2 other Turkish nationals, according to Hamas, Ahmet Awad, Khaled Menawi, are Lebanese, and Bilal Öztürk and Yakub Erdal are Turkish nationals. What the fuck? His name is Yakub? I wonder if this guy is like Jewish Turkish. That's wild. It's wild to have like. It's wild. I mean, I don't know. I don't. There are Turkish Jewish people. So, or it could just be like Arabic. The way that he wrote this name is weird. That's why I'm saying like that's not how you write Yakub in Turkish. It's more so. This is you wouldn't write Yakub like this in Turkish. It's a Arabic name too, but I mean obviously we have Turkish names that are Arabic as well. I mean it's a swap. Hasan, Murat, Mehmed, Mahmud. These are all Arabic names that also are Turkish names too. Abi Türkiye'nin İsrail'ini ithal ettiği demir çeliğin %36'sını sağladığını yeterince insan konuşmuyor. Erdoğan pro Hamas gibi konuşsa da kapalılar ardından birbirlerini destekliyorlar. Abicim konuşuyoruz biz burada. Biz burada bahsediyoruz burada. Yani hiç. Anyway. Yes, Turkey is one of Israel's greatest allies in the region. So Recep Tayyip Erdoğan constantly fucking talking about how he loves Hamas or whatever the fuck is just silly. And I've mentioned this time and time again. Why are they hitting Lebanon? Hezbollah is in Lebanon. Anyway, John Ossoff is like popping the fuck off. I don't know why. As you guys know, also John Ossoff is Jewish himself. He is popping the absolute fuck off on this issue harder than Raphael Warnock, who was definitely more pro-Palestine before running. Senator Ossoff from Georgia says, on the $14 billion weapons aid to Israel, I do not accept that the total deprivation of millions of innocent civilians is necessary for Israel to secure its objectives and the national interest of the United States. And where the United States is committing arms funds and support to those efforts, we must guard our principles and interests. Honestly, it's like, I mean, this is very unexpected. It is very unexpected. And not because, like, John Ossoff is Jewish. It's unexpected because John Ossoff is, like, has always been a somewhat interesting character that was, like, very centrist, neoliberal, a rugged triangulator, right? So for him to just, like, take a really serious moral stance that somewhat goes against what the major narrative has been thus far in the Democratic Party, which is completely, in my opinion, oblivious to the popular narrative on the ground within the Democratic Party, but across the board. I don't know. I find it very interesting, and I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that, like, it's gone too far. Unacceptable and moral failure. In a shift, Jewish lawmakers Ossoff, Balint, and Phillips ramp up criticism on Israel's conduct. In the span of 2 days, one Jewish lawmaker became the first to call Israel to join a ceasefire. Another called the Palestinian death toll unacceptable, and a third said Israel's conduct was a moral failure. The 35 Jews in the House of Representatives. By the way, the Jewish Telegraphic Agency covering this with like sometimes this issue gets really weird when you talk about it. Like, obviously, I've talked about, like, Israel's demographics, and, like, their demographic categorization, in my opinion, is, like, abhorrent because they say Jew or Arab, which is weird. But it's also odd when you have, like, the JTA writing this article, and it's like, it's more so a joke in this situation. I'm not, like, being serious, but it is weird because, like, this is how I would read a Stormfront article. You know what I mean? The 35 Jews in the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate. like, yeah. Jews are not a monolith, okay? 35 Jews in the U.S. House of Representatives and the Senate, all but 2 of them Democrats, have been among the most stalwart in defending Israel since Hamas's October 7th massacres launched the war. Last month, 3 Jewish lawmakers, including 2 progressives, spearheaded a letter from more than half of the House Democrats supporting President Joe Biden's robust backing of Israel. All 24 Jewish Democrats in the House signed it. Now, as the war enters its 6th week, the Palestinian death toll rises and the humanitarian crisis intensifies. Anguished expressions of dissent from Representatives Becca Balint of Vermont and Dean Phillips of Minnesota and Senator John Ossoff of Georgia suggest that a wall of support might be crumbling. Phillips, Ossoff, and Balint each said that the massacres Hamas carried out, killing 1,200 people and taking more than 200 captive, recalled the horrors of the Holocaust. These events call to the mind the Einsatzgruppen SS, the Nazi death squads who hunted and massacred our relatives across Eastern Europe 80 years ago, Ossoff said on the Senate floor. But they said, that's a big but, they said they've been haunted by the subsequent carnage in which Hamas-controlled Gaza Health Ministry has said that more than 11,000 Palestinians have died, including thousands of children. It is not known how many among that number are combatants and how many among the dead were victims of misfired rockets aimed at Israel. On Thursday, Balint became the first Jewish member of Congress to endorse a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. What is needed right now is an immediate break in the violence to allow a true negotiated ceasefire, she said in an op-ed for the Vermont news site, which is weirdly named, and I will not read it. One in which both sides stop the bloodshed, allow critical access to humanitarian aid, and move towards a negotiating a sustainable and lasting peace. Representative AOC, a New York Democrat who is a leader of the squad, the most left-wing faction in the House, immediately seized upon Balint's support, noting her Jewish identity. Well, you're doing that too in the article, JTA. Representative Becca Balint is now the first Jewish member of Congress to come out in favor of ceasefire in Gaza. She's incredibly brave, taking a stance rooted in her commitment to human rights and protection of the innocent. It's so wild that Bernie Sanders is being outflanked by, like, kind of centrist Democrats like Dean Phillips. Like, what the fuck? John Ossoff? Like, what are we doing? A one-state solution is a non-starter if the right to return is on the table. If Israel's going to make any kind of deal, they won't agree to something that puts them at a disadvantage population-wise. Brother, I know that, but that's so racist. It's always so funny that, like, the conditions of an argument in this situation have to, like, abide by how unimaginably racist the population and the leadership is in the apartheid country. It's like, yeah, of course. And that's partially because, unfortunately, there's not enough outside pressure from Western countries on Israel to cut it the fuck out and no longer be this incredibly racist apartheid regime. So no, I don't actually care about the perspective of like people and how racist they are currently. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, the apartheid must continue is a ridiculous fucking framing. Dick Durbin being to the left of Bernie on Gaza is insane to me. I know. Sence Bernie neden opinion değiştirdi bu konuda? I think a lot of liberal Zionists, which Bernie Sanders was definitely, I guess they were fine for advocating for Palestinians as long as they were like, you know, helpless victims that were being ruthlessly slaughtered. And then when the Palestinians did actually get together and do some unimaginable cruelty, a fraction of what they have withstood over the course of the 75 years, but still, like, genuinely cruel and unusual, shocking acts of violence. A lot of people were like, oh, fuck, like, this is crazy. There's no way. I like genuinely think that Hamas needs to be eviscerated. And I think that's what happened, kind of. Like, I think it's genuine. I think a lot of people that are soft Zionists or liberal Zionists, like, legitimately were broken by October 7, which is understandable. I mean, there's a major veil had been cast aside in this situation. Like, this comfortable security blanket that surrounded Israel that made it this, like, prominent, militant, strong, chauvinist country, an extension of Western imperialism, an important base. It could not protect its own citizens for 2 whole days. That's unimaginable. You know? Former friend of mine from Israel who was always progressive has been posting since October 7th about needing to eradicate Hamas and how they aren't humans. Had to see. Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna be able to reason with a lot of people if they are not thinking about this critically. You're just not. It's never gonna happen because, like, impassioned responses are understandable. It will always happen. But impassioned responses, specifically revolving around, like, the inhumanity of people, like the terrorist. These guys are terrorists. They're barbarians. They're rapists, beheaders of babies. Like, all of that. It is really emotional, and it's there to invoke this specific emotion out of you, so you can't think about it rationally and go, well, this has happened, like, not to the same. This violence has never happened, obviously, to the same degree, but Israel's actions have always been abhorrent and violent, as many progressive Israelis and progressive Zionists who are, you know, liberal Zionists would recognize. And for some reason, that has not stopped, just like the blockade has not stopped the missiles from going in, and this has not stopped like the people's will for violent emancipation, making the occupation costly. And every single time the IDF has said they're going to eradicate Hamas, they're going to cripple Hamas, they're going to destroy Hamas, and yet for some reason they haven't. Because you can't destroy, unless you do full-blown genocide and ethnic cleansing and ethnic displacement, you're not going to be able to destroy an idea. You're not going to be able to destroy people's emancipatory efforts. People yearn for freedom, and it's an understandable position for people to have. So, you know, I know that a lot of people ironically say, like, oh, all you're doing is creating Hamas 2, not realizing that Hamas 1 became what it is today due to the exact same conditions. That's it. So, type of action has happened hundreds of times over, but aimed at Palestinians. The chauvinist fascists saw it happen to them once and now are losing their minds. Yeah. That's why it's always important to take a step back, take a breather, and try to describe, openly admit that this is not like a justification for the violence whatsoever, but instead simply analysis. Analysis is not justification, but analysis is a necessity if you want to genuinely eradicate the problem. If you consider the violent actions of Hamas to be a problem, as I do, then you have to recognize that the only surefire way to stop it is by, one, figuring out why this violence exists to begin with, and it's certainly not because people are like barbaric, violent monsters across the board and are operating on bloodthirst or whatever. Like, I don't think Israel's reaction is even the barbaric, like, anti-Palestinian hatred that they want. I think there's a material reason for it. The material reason for the violence that Israel subjects to Israel's violence is territorial occupation, taking over more space, making it as cruel as possible for the existing Palestinians so that they'll inevitably leave. It is settler colonialism. So, yeah. Bibi is live right now.
The combination of the military and political efforts have caused this to make it possible. I think that this will help bring about a return of a...
Now, that's not barbaric for you? No, of course it's barbaric. Of course it's barbarism. Fascism is barbarism. Israel's actions are always barbaric. Israel's occupation has always been barbaric.
And also, the American, and they claim it's not so. So let me quote what it says in the Red Cross. It has to do its work. It says specifically in the charter that it has to do so, to provide those medications and so on, and visit them. I often come before, I have before me very often difficult decisions to make, especially so in this case of the attempt to bring them, all the abductees home, is continuous, non-stop. And at this point, we're bringing back babies, mothers, and children. We have the highest ethical demand on us to do so. We have done that in the past. We have done this in the past, despite it happened in Savoy, in Entebbe, in Sabena, in other cases. We've done that at great cost as well, or a few weeks ago as well, when we were able to, with a daring military action, to bring make the Yiddish back. Therefore, we're not waiting. We every sliver of a possibility we're using and trying to do this holy task. The IDF and all the security forces are working non-stop on this, and they brought this the security. We also making sure that during the ceasefire there will be protect itself, and be prepared for it. Yesterday, the government reached a decision, and I believe, as do my colleagues, as well. This is the correct one. I thank them all, my colleagues, to Benny Gantz, Minister, and Gantz, and the Herzl Halevi, and Dani Barnea, the Mossad, and Nitzan Alon, and Gal Hirsch, and everyone who has helped in obtaining their release. I want to be clear, and the Minister of Defense as well. The war is continuing. We continue the war until we reach all our goals, bring all our objectives back, destroy Hamas, and have assurance that no terror body will be in charge of Gaza. Gaza will no longer be a threat for Israel. We will bring security both to the south.
He's like, I promise we're going to be so violent, bro. I promise, please.
And we will continue fighting.
Please, fear
until the absolute complete victory. And we're doing this thanks to the bravery of our fighters and our sons and daughters, the heroes of Israel, and their sacrifices. And I also
Did you say, I bet this old fuck can't even hit the gritty?
This victory has a heavy weight, heavy cost. Our heroes who have fallen in order to protect the home. I spoke this with Avichai and Tali Barazani.
Yeah, I did hear this. Israeli here, I don't know if you know this, but a few days ago, instead of continuing the discussions and decisions about making of atrocious war efforts, attacking Gaza, negotiating for hostages, getting Israeli citizens back to their homes, etc., our Israeli officials decided to vote on the question of whether terror should be executed or not. Absolutely insane. Did I mention they did it while hostages' families were in the room? Yes. I also saw that a bunch of the hostage families freaked the fuck out, started screaming at them. Itamar Ben-Gvir also literally kissed one of the hostage family members against his will. Like, he walked up to him, hugged him in the fucking top of the head, and kissed him. Like, to show support to him, you know what I mean? To show, like, fake sympathy to him, which is insane. It is so insane, brother. It is so psychotic. I'm telling you, it is hard to understand what the fuck is going on in Israel. It's just like you can't comprehend it, okay? Oh, here's Yoav. Let's see what Yoav has to say. My man, he's going to be like, everything Netanyahu said is bullshit. We're going to raise Gaza.
Hamas opened a war against the state of Israel. They thought that they're going to tear apart Israel. They'll plant the flag of Hamas in the middle of the Negev in the south of Israel after their horrific crimes.
Tom Segura used the clip.
Because we have been so obsessed. So obsessed.
What do you mean?
Do you not think that African Americans played a significant role in building this country? Oh, okay. All right. Well, do you think white people are better than black people? Let's just get right to it. Do you think white people are better than black people?
Better in the sense that...
What, better in what sense?
I'm about to tell you. That they create and black people destroy.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
You have black employees. How do they sit here and listen to you peddle this garbage?
It's the truth.
So we've been playing this guy's wild, and then I think I just text you about it, or I don't know if we're on the phone.
My producer Kirsten saw that she's like, look, Tom's found Jesse Lee Peterson and Tom and Christine, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell him.
And then you tell me, you go, I did his show, and I'm like, what?
I did.
That's crazy.
And when you say this,
go ahead.
Well, when you say
why were you in a Christian shirt? It's one of my favorite shirts. I haven't worn it in a minute, but are you kidding me? I never apologize for that. That's a real gym in Florida.
So I was like, what are you talking about? And you go, yeah. And it was, I think it was the night before a flight. So on the flight, I watched the whole thing on the flight, and I laughed so hard because I'm watching you like somebody I know. And I'm seeing you being like you're just like, cool, it's good to be here. Like, you're just like being yourself and just, having a conversation, doing like basically a podcast. And then he starts to drop, his stuff. And I just see you're like, wait, what? And having you go like, is this a bit? Are people about to run out? It was so great.
My manager sent me that, first of all. I was like, hey, these people are interested in having you on. And all I did was look up real quickly. I'd seen some guests, and I was like, oh, Jordan Peterson. I just saw some people that I...
Oh, okay, that's it. So they just, like, start talking about JLP and how crazy he is. He is, though. Azan, did you see this? APEC tried to offer $20 million to someone to unseat Rashida Tlaib. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. JLP is fucking nuts, dude. He's nuts, though. That's it. There's not really too much you can talk about. The update is from 4 law enforcement officials told Tom Winter and Jonathan for New York that no explosives were found in the vehicle that crashed in the Buffalo area border checkpoint. Cause still to be determined, but law enforcement officials are not calling this terrorism. Someone is there. I mean, we don't know yet. This is all breaking news, so that's the reason why I haven't like touched the car bomb possible or car explosion thing on the border. Okay. So that's the reason why I didn't touch it, even though Fox News apparently has been running that it's like 100p a fucking Hamas attack or some shit. Fox News called it terrorism. Chaos of breaking news. Yeah, just in. Vehicle explosion at Rainbow Bridge in Niagara Falls between U.S. and Canada border was an attempted terrorist attack with a lot of explosives in the vehicle at the time, according to Fox News. Of course. This is low-key. Part of the reason why, if something is not a constant, like an ongoing bombing campaign in Gaza, for example, like in a situation like this, or a mass shooting, the only reason why I will like look at it immediately, and I will reiterate my perspective on the matter, the only reason why I will look at it is if there is like legitimately a shit ton of misinformation flowing around. But I usually wait for, obviously, journalists to cover it. And at the most, the thing I will look for is police, like what the police are releasing in their own like live press conferences, shit like that. Anyway, Laura Loomer called it Islamic terrorism about 50 minutes after it happened. Spider is looking gal. Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a lot of the irony, of course, is that people have this narrative where like Hassan is always covering breaking news and he's always getting shit wrong. But like, no, I think there's a pretty solid. I think I have a pretty solid approach to this kind of thing. Regardless. So, as I was saying. Really interesting to see, like how the tide is turning on the Israel's endless bombing campaign. But of course, we have to cover this part of the story, which is since day one, the U.S. calls for restraint weren't about the morality of collective punishment, but simply the PR disaster would create for Israel and the United States. This is why they pushed for using smaller bombs and humanitarian pauses as they quietly kept sending more munitions. I'm going to cover this Politico article, and you can cover your eyes as the top of the hour ad break comes in by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Okay? Or you can get gifted a sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. I cannot wait for Evan Hill or Eric Toller's analysis on the tunnels that were uncovered. I am excited to see what kind of information comes out of this. You guys know what my position is. I do not give a fuck if there's a complex tunnel structure underneath the hospital. Ridiculous that they had not shown enough evidence leading up to this moment. But the complex tunnel structure underneath the hospital still does not mean that you can blow up the hospital on top of it. Complex tunnel structures exist under the entirety of Gaza. This is not an appropriate action to take. It is also not one that is permissible by international humanitarian law. It does not matter. They are simply doing this not to like defend their actions to a genuine court. They will never see a genuine court of law. They will never actually have to withstand an international tribunal. They are simply doing this for propaganda for the Western world to go, see, there's tunnels under the hospital. Hamas is using the hospital as a base, and they're secretly hiding under the hospital. There are tunnels under every fucking structure pretty much. There's 400 kilometers of tunnel networks underneath Gaza. You cannot blow up the top of Gaza so you can get to the tunnels. Okay? That's not a thing you can do. I do not know if these are the tunnels that Israel built. They do look very patchy and shitty, which implies that they are relatively consistent with the tunnels that Hamas has built in other places.
Shifa hospital compound. We're underneath the ground.
Fuck.
We are approximately between the Qatarian building is above us, and this is the way to the street. Meaning this is a way that goes outside from the hospital. We are talking about a tunnel which is more than this, only this specific area is more than 300 meters of a tunnel. So this area goes directly outside of the hospital, approximately to one of the areas outside, maybe a mosque, maybe an apartment, and it's blocked. It's blocked and sealed. They knew that we were going to come here more than a month ago, and they sealed it.
Wait, so they haven't been using it? What the fuck? Wasn't that the whole point? Dude, come on. That is insane. They sealed it to hide the tunnels. Yeah, no shit. That means they're not using the tunnels. The fuck? It's a headquarters. They do so much commanding and controlling from there. I'm going to lose my fucking mind, dude. Oh my God.
And now we're going to see the infrastructure of the tunnel. This tunnel is a complex tunnel. It's not the ones that we know. It's more convenient for long living, like you have toilets and you have rooms that were built in order to contain people. But this room is an operational room that had communication with electricity provided from the sources of the hospital, meaning the hospital is providing electricity. This room was evacuated and all the gear was evacuated. I guess it was evacuated when they knew or understand that we're going to enter into Shifa Hospital.
So when you're looking at a video like this, like when you're looking at tunnel structures, if it is like tunnels that Israel had built, if it's structures that Israel had built, it would probably be for mixed utility, which is that, yes, it would look a little bit better than this, most likely. I don't know. I don't know who built these, but it would look a little bit nicer. But also on top of that, the spacing that you have to have, it's pretty consistent. 2 meters high, 10 meters in depth underground is what the Hamas tunnel structures look like, right? Now, having said that, if these were the tunnels that that they were using for hospital purposes, then the tunnel structure itself would probably be a little bit wider because you need to be able to like pass stretchers through, for example. I mean, depending on what the usage is. 2 meters high, 2 meters deep? No. The tunnel itself will usually be 2 meters high. However, it's underneath, it's 10 meters in the ground. The tunnel will be much wider and look like a copy of a ward above ground. There are so many narrow that you can't move patients in beds and have medical equipment down there. The conditions are pretty bad. Exactly. Which leads me to believe that these were, at a certain point, I don't know exactly when, but these were most likely tunnels utilized by Hamas or other Palestinian militant factions.
You can see
but the fact that they have,
in front of us are going,
like the fact that they have actually sealed tunnel entrances implies that they most likely did this a while ago and were not able to utilize these tunnel systems, which once again doesn't justify, even if they were utilizing the tunnel systems underneath the hospital, still doesn't justify fucking unironically blowing up the hospital above it. You can't do that. And cause so much chaos and death and destruction on a medical facility. So no matter what happens, that's still completely unacceptable under international humanitarian law. Are you a tunnel expert now? If only you understood. If you're coming in here and you are specifically coming in here to be like, fuck Hassan, like, I love Israel, like, he's so dumb, and you listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, you would understand that I'm actually literally reconfirming what the IDF is saying here. But because you have no interest in it, you don't even understand what I'm saying. You think that I'm saying, like, this isn't a Hamas tunnel. This is not a Hamas tunnel at all, because you're just upset and you just want to fucking yell. I am a tunnel expert. I'm an expert in your mom's tunnel, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? I've been tunneling your mom every goddamn night. But how can you even reconfirm anything? What do you mean, how can I even reconfirm anything? My job is to look at information that is being presented by every side and give you analysis. Do I know a little bit about like what the Hamas tunnel structures look like? Absolutely, I do. I've looked at hundreds of them. And not only that, but I also routinely communicate with people who are themselves people that are infinitely more knowledgeable than myself on issues like this. So yes. What kind of stupid thing is this? No one could ever know anything if you operated on these boundaries. Why am I getting derailed by some dumb motherfucker? Oh my God. So not only a JDAM whisperer, but a tunnel expert. Gotcha. Holy moly. Dude, go back to the fucking community of people that don't know who Recep Tayyip Erdogan is, okay? And thinks like Bashar al-Assad is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who also simultaneously is the fucking leader of Israel, okay? Please. What kind of idiotic situation have I found myself on? Don't waste your time on that last guy. He's so stupid and annoying that even the no-lives on Reddit that hate you can't stand his ass. I know, Jesus Christ.
Inside the tunnel, you can see a small kitchen. So it will provide them food, water, etc. All these facilities of water and food are coming from the hospital, meaning they're using the hospital infrastructures. They're using the hospital infrastructures in order to provide this terror mechanism to stay alive and survive.
Is there a way to analyze whatever material was used to seal the tunnel to check how long ago it was sealed? Yes, I think you can probably do there's different tests that I assume you can use in this situation. You can look at the chemicals I'm sure there's like some mechanism, like it's not carbon dating, or maybe it is carbon dating actually. I don't know if carbon dating works for something that.
I want to show you more rooms. More rooms.
Is this supposed to justify hospital bombings? Yes, it is supposed to justify the actions taken against Al-Shifa, but also against all of the other hospitals as well, neither of which is permissible, neither of which is appropriate, and it doesn't really matter.
The room, where you can sleep, eat, make command control. It also has an air conditioning. This air conditioning goes above the hospital. One of the reasons that allows us to understand this complex is that we found the engine of the air conditioner, of course, outside, next to the Qatari compound.
I don't think it's carbon dating.
Electricity. The gear that was inside here was evacuated before we entered. But look at the ceiling. This is not just a regular tunnel. This is a high facility compound.
This is a terror tunnel. Terror.
Also, more toilets here.
See, this is why it's most likely not like built by Israel or some shit, as people originally suspected, because Israel had built some of the tunnel structure underneath the hospital. Because you cannot put a fucking patient through this hole. Like, there is no utility in this situation. You know what I mean? There is no, this is not like a mixed utility tunnel.
They tried to seal it also with sand and other components that we will not.
Have you seen the vitriol that has come out of these towards healthcare workers and the Doctors Without Borders organization? It's wild how gross people have become towards some of the most charitable people. Yeah, people are fucking insane. And I think that a lot of people are recognizing that. And this level of like counter propaganda is not going to work. I know that they're trying to do this, but this only makes them look dumb in the most charitable way of interpreting their genocide. Is this supposed to mean we bomb over ground and look how ineffective it is to kill Hamas because they have tunnels? Exactly. It only shows me that like you have to adapt. If your enemy is fucking using tunnels and your job is to get to them, and the only thing you're doing is like blowing up fucking hospitals on top of the tunnel structure, which the tunnel structure looks literally intact. So it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, what are you doing? You're just demonstrably showing your failure. All you've done is shown the world that you are a failure, and you didn't really give a fuck about the tunnels. You're just using it as a post hoc rationalization for wiping out entire fucking chunks of Gaza so you can inevitably occupy it. That's it. But because most people cannot work because most people can't like work away from the perspective of like the people on top of these tunnel structures are actually innocent civilians. They don't see it that way. They see it as like possibly complicit actors that are also scary Arabs and Palestinians and maybe those who are aligned with Hamas, barbaric terrorists, that they turn around and say, no, this is good enough justification. Hassan, noted tunnel expert now. Is there anything this man is not an expert on? Oh my God. Guys, I am not a tunnel expert. I've never said I'm a tunnel expert. I'm not a missile expert. The irony is that many people who have fucking said, Hassan, remember when you said it was a JDAM? Literally did not see anything beyond the 20-second clip where I say, I am not a missile expert by any means. I am not a missile autist in any means. I'm talking to other people who are, however, to develop better analysis on this matter. It is so fucking weird, dude. What the fuck is going on? And I'm also saying these are Hamas tunnels. I'm saying these are Hamas tunnels most likely. Why are you fucking... You're so dumb. You're so dumb. Who are the experts you're talking to? Most forensic analysts that you are relying on, I'm talking to. It's so stupid. Why would I give you any of the people that I talk to in mainstream media so that you can go and fucking endlessly harass them? You are a cyber stalker psychopath who is not even interesting because you don't have a name. I do have names. I'm just simply not going to give them to you. I do. But you are a bad faith, uncharitable dickhead who is in here to derail. So, of course, you do not deserve the dignity of a response, which I've given you thus far. Yeah, let me go. Hey, guys, here, dude, here, hold on. I got it, dude. Here, hold on. We got it. All right, let me bust it wide open. Let me crack a bag of Adderall and read through this tunnel article on Wikipedia so I can be a tunnel expert in the eyes of dumb motherfuckers. All right, guys, we're good. I'm an expert in tunnels now. Are you happy, chatter? Open up a notepad and start jotting notes. I know. Why am I getting so fucking derailed here today? Anyway, they got their karma. Congrats. Yeah.
Be able to enter here. We evacuated the sand. We open up those entrance.
Yeah, listen, if you're coming from a community that watched the GeoConfirm thread and took it as like 100% correct, and then came in here to talk about it wasn't Al-Shifa, it was Al-Ahli, by the way. If you're coming in here from a community of people who didn't even fucking know what Israel was, where it was on a fucking map, who the leadership was, completely oblivious to 75 years of occupation and more, and still was just like rehashing things that they saw on OSINT Twitter from GeoConfirmed, who GeoConfirmed himself openly admitted was wrong. If you're coming from that fucking community, there's plenty of dumb shit and dumb fucks in that community as well who've gotten things wrong over and over again. It's just that you are like moths to a motherfucking light, and you hammer on in this idiotic way, thinking that like you are not wrong 95% of the fucking time. You gullible fucks. Shut the fuck up. It's so weird. Throughout this process over the past month, I've had experts, historians, literal members of the fucking Knesset. I'm constantly in contact with journalists who do forensic analysis for media companies. I will not be talking about who said journalists are, but there are members that I trust that I think are very sound and smart. You, on the other hand, are coming at it from a perspective of not knowing a single fucking thing on the matter. You are intellectually uncurious, and your goal is to simply derail. That's it. Forensic anal mentioned, yes.
We can go in, but they're trying to ruin this tunnel in order for us not to be able to enter.
Yeah, people who have worked backwards towards this conclusion of like trying to justify everything, coming in here to just like yell at things that they misunderstood.
You can see the stairs here going down. Electricity from all over the sides are electricity.
That's wrong, actually. Every video was geo-confirmed. Only thing they missed, which is the most important one, is the rocket was shot by an interceptor. Once they confirmed, they took the thread down and made a new one with posts of Iron Dome launchers. Brother, I'm sorry, but that was my brief insight into OSINT Twitter, and the way that you are describing this event, the way that you're describing what happened on that day is ridiculous. Plenty of people literally were like, that's so stupid that you think that a missile that like misfired that you're watching fucking perish was capable of like blowing up the courtyard of a hospital, which it wasn't. That was so utterly incorrect. It was incorrect even with the little amount of information that we had at the time. I was there. I was telling them with Archie that they had a launcher. What? Wait, oh, were you the guy who sent me the Archie thread originally? No, the guy he's talking about is another like OSINT guy who was correct, who like the New York Times personally gave props to. Yeah. Near Gaza, and they didn't until way hours later. Exactly. That thread was so damaging because that thread, the geo-confirmed thread, was so ludicrous, such a ridiculous fucking, such a ridiculous thing to just like push for. It was demonstrably incorrect, and yet so many people went along with it and it spread like fucking wildfire, and it doesn't matter. It was like, the guy himself openly admitted it was wrong and deleted the thread and said, my bad, which is so weird because there sounded like a JDAM, didn't it? The explosion from afar with the whistle of whatever the fuck was like falling on the hospital was consistent with much larger munitions at the time, because we thought before we saw the impact crater, and this is not my perspective, this is not a perspective that I shared, this is a perspective that I shared with others as well, was that why are we still talking about this? Oh, this is so stupid. I'm getting derailed. I'm getting so fucking hyper derailed. Shut the fuck up, trolls. All right, let's continue. I'm a tunnel expert.
Electricity compound, all this electricity gear, of course, comes out from the hospital. The hospital provides, in that sense, electricity to this terror mechanism of the tunnel. This is a unique signature of the arches. The arches are a unique technique by Hamas, building the tunnels. It's something that was designed in the last 15 years. This unique, every area that we see arches are, we understand that it assembles, that it has a tunnel next to it. This is how we revealed some of the tunnels, so it's a unique structure of Hamas tunnels in the last 15 years. The warriors, it took time to make sure that this area is not booby trapped. We were worried that it was booby trapped. Cleaning this area, opening it so we can go inside, was a huge task for the forces of the special units that were here. Where the warrior is standing here, it goes directly to the street, meaning it again goes out from the hospital to the north side of the hospital, where we found another tunnel which has an elevator. Like,
this is to the reason why they're showing all this is so that they can try and justify bombing the hospital, like, you know, shooting at the hospital, saying that like this was an operational command and control center under Al Shifa. We had no other option but to like go in there and do all of this shit. And even in this video itself, they openly mentioned that the tunnels were sealed months in advance, according to his take. So I don't know. And that's basically it. Where's his command center again? Yeah, they said it was a Hamas headquarters. They're uncovering more tunnel structures underneath the hospital as well. None of it really matters. Are there chatters, bots? Maybe. Yeah, the spokesman prefaced this video by saying Hamas literally abandoned the tunnel structure a month prior. They're saying that like they tried to do something where they originally claimed that like the doctors were coordinating with Hamas to like hold off the IDF from entering the hospital so that they could like in secrecy seal the tunnels. So
this is why all the battalion's commander, all the senior commander terrorists came here to command their operation, went outside, went back to the hospital to do command and control.
I'm so tired of the super pipeline, pro-Palestinian protests, pro-Israelis viewed as support for terrorism. IDF and Hasbara put out propaganda. Please educating people that terrorists use bad methods to do things, which a lot of time can be bad things. Welcome to Israel. What? The goal, he said that they were sealed months ago, or at least a month ago. The goal of this is clear. It's to show you some kind of post hoc rationalization and post hoc evidence that justifies bombing a hospital on top of it. It does not. Nothing justifies that. Okay? I'll give you guys more updates on the tunnels when actual experts analyze the footage. And it's not just me looking at it with my own virgin eyes, as I am not a tunnel expert by any means. Okay? This is only one of the tunnel structures that's underneath the compound. But ultimately, all of this, no. The former prime minister said they built those tunnels and bunkers themselves on CNN. No. We don't know if that is the tunnel structure that Israel built, because it doesn't look like it can be used. To be clear, he said one of the entrances, and I believe there are 3 that was sealed around a month ago. Yeah, he said one of the entrances was sealed, and the other ones they've had to like get to by basically doing shit like this. So I don't know what level of utility these tunnel structures had. Okay. Israel Defense Force exposed further parts of Hamas tunnel network under the Shifa Hospital, publishing videos and additional entrances to underground hideout rooms. Infographics show the estimated tunnel route under the so-called Qatari building at Shifa. This video shows another tunnel entrance near Shifa. Video published by the IDF soldiers inside the tunnels at Shifa. Yeah, but it is like odd that they had to dig through it and find the entrances. Possible explanation is that they assumed the sealed entrance wouldn't be booby-trapped, whereas the other ones likely were. I mean, I don't know if they have actually found a single fucking booby-trap thus far. They usually do booby-trap some of the tunnels, but I think those are fake tunnels. Like, they have bait tunnels. They have tunnels everywhere. Some of those tunnels, they leave once the Israeli forces come through that region, and they booby-trap it. No, this is them breaking into the tunnel halfway through to prove that it's near the surgery building. They had already entered the tunnel from either end. So, if it was for access for Hamas's use of the hospital, then the access would have been discovered from within the hospital, so it doesn't really matter at all. No, I think that some of I think they uncovered at least one entrance that is inside of the hospital compound. But regardless. So the idea of it showing is that they failed to destroy the tunnels as they use it as a justification for genocide? Yes. Or rather, I think it's more nefarious than that. I think the real reason why they're showing all this stuff is specifically to say, no, you don't understand. We had to kill 14,000 people so we could get to these tunnels and we could like shut them off, even though it seems like the tunnels were not in operation already. But even if it was, they're basically saying like the casualties of the Palestinians who you think are innocent are actually totally valid kills because they are standing on top of these structures and defending them by standing on top of these structures and defending them. The last video is Manny Fabian's thread, I think, shows the entrance to the tunnel basement. Oh, here, this one. Oh, it's the Qatari building, yeah. I think this is the one that they were at as well. Or wait, no, this is just the same one. It's the same area that the other guy went to. It's the same one. Your channel is not showing up on Twitch's main page. It is most likely because you're on mobile and mobile is wonky and it's like kind of busted. That's probably what it is. That's been an ongoing problem for mobile. Yeah. On desktop, it's fine. Yeah, Jamal Bowman's story we're going to talk about as well. Wait, what the fuck? Am I blocked by Richie Torres? No way. He blocked me? That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. The fuck? I led the trip with Jamal Bowman. It's a fact. There are checkpoints in Hebron where security separates who can walk where by religion. Other checkpoints keep roads sterile of Palestinians. I've been there dozens of times. Join me. The president of J Street said. Isn't that illegal? I don't think so. So, second to last video here. Video shows another tunnel entrance near Shifa. So the tunnel entrance is not in Shifa. It says near Shifa. How near? No, there's definitely tunnels both underneath the compound and also specifically on the edges of the compound, or even in buildings surrounding the compound. Guys, there's tunnels everywhere. Okay? No, this is like, that part is 100% correct. I don't know if this is the Shifa Hospital or one of the buildings inside of the Shifa Hospital. They're just simply saying, or Manny Fabian is saying that this is near Shifa. I think they're doing it to show proof that Hamas was using Viet Cong tunnels under the hospital. I think the only nefarious one is Netanyahu, but I don't think he ordered a video made. Wait, what? No, Netanyahu is not the only nefarious person. There's plenty of people in the IDF that's also, and plenty of people in, there's plenty of people that are certainly nefarious. Infographics show the estimated route of the tunnel under the so-called Qatari building at Shifa. Yeah. So this is the this is the exit of the tunnel structure, which is in the hospital compound area. That's why they say it's near it, I think. And then this is where the tunnel structure goes to. Anyway, we have not talked about the Niagara bombing. I don't know enough about what's going on there. It seems like it was I don't know. According to the police, they are not ruling that this was a bombing thus far. Anyway,
my wife and I were walking down Main Street here, and the car was coming flying back here, like over 100 miles an hour. We could hardly even see me. It was going that quick. There was a car in front of him. He swerved around it, and then it looked like he hit the fence, and this fire started, and then all of a sudden he went up in the air, and then it was a ball of fire like 30, 40 feet high.
Bro, if it was a fucking Tesla, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Never seen anything like it. It was really incredible.
Do we know what kind of car it was?
We were walking up this way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then describe it again. So
okay, so we were walking up...
Turn towards us. Turn towards us.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So we were walking up the road, and we seen this car coming down towards the border. And he was flying over 100 miles an hour. There was a car in front of him. He swerved out, went in front of the car, hit the fence, went flying up into the air. He hit, I think there was an elevation part. He went up into the air, and we just seen the fireball, and that's all we could see. It was just covered in smoke everywhere.
So the car was coming from the U.S. into Canada, towards Canada?
Yes, it was going towards Canada, yes.
Okay, did it actually hit towards the bridge? Where was that elevated area?
There was a fence there that's fenced off around there. It looked like it hit part of the fence because it's all damaged. And then it went elevated up, and then it went up into the air, and then it was just a fireball and smoke everywhere.
And did you see officers like pulling weapons or doing anything like that?
Not till later. I had never seen them pull a weapon, but it took about 10 minutes for, like, the border police were there.
I love the dude. Going back to the IDF thing, I'm sorry. This is such a dude. IDF is posting the funniest shit. I can't get over this. We'll cover this shit in a little bit, okay? Hold up. Dude, look at this. Look. Look. Dear world, is this enough proof for you? Dog, you killed 6,000 children. What are you saying? You killed 6,000 children so far. What is this? They literally took bodies out of the hospital only to give them back so they can do a mass grave again. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, dear world? What is this? What kind of small bean shit is this? Now, that sounds like some fucking propaganda. No, it's not even good propaganda. That's what I'm saying. Of course it's propaganda. This is the IDF official Twitter account. Like, what do you mean? Ooh, small bean had to fucking kill all these kids. Dear world, is this proof enough for you? And it's like, no, man, this still doesn't make it right. Like, what you've done is so fucked up. Far right won the Dutch elections. Oh, great.
Obviously.
Anyway, let me continue with the fucking the Israel-Palestine stuff, and then I'll get to the border explosion.
Now to breaking news overnight on a deal to release some of the hostages held by Hamas during a brief ceasefire. Matt Gutman is on the scene for us with the details.
After this, I'm going to cover the Politico article that shows America's real interest in the matter and why they behave in the way that they have been behaving.
Good morning, Matt.
Damn, this guy's good.